Welcome back to my channel. Based on the comments I got from my last video, I'm gonna take your advice and share my top tips for fat loss, especially with summer right around the corner. I appreciate the feedback so much on what you guys are finding helpful, questions you have that I can answer. Please keep dropping them in the comment section. And if you don't already subscribe, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you like today's video, if you find something helpful, and if you want to keep learning different fitness tips and tricks. Let's dive right into this episode. First and foremost, this is tips on fat loss, not weight loss. There's a difference. I'm gonna show you guys one of my clients who's lost maybe cumulatively 10 pounds in the past year, but her body fat has changed. And this is why I like to focus on fat loss over weight loss when working with a client who wants to really transform their physique. So this client came to me, she was overtraining, overdoing cardio, under eating, using fat burners, using waist trainers, using all the nonsense that you see on the internet. She trusted me. We started her with 3 days a week in the gym, lifting heavy, maybe 2 to 3 days of cardio, not more than 30 minutes, and then a 10,000 step count, and then about 13 to 1400 calories because she was honestly eating less than that. We built her up to about 16 to 1700 calories, and this is what she's looking like now. Stronger than ever, training 4 to 5 days in the gym, fueling her body right, and feeling the best she has felt in years without all the supplement nonsense, and really no BS. Now, how can you achieve this? The tips I give are pretty general that you can apply to pretty much any situation if you are trying to lose body fat. I talk about nutrition because when it comes to weight and it comes to body fat, nutrition is key. And I really want you to focus on portion control. I'm not a fan of super restrictive diets. Instead, I'd rather you educate yourself on the food that you are eating and learn how to eat in moderation and with proper portion sizes. For example, a common food I see people overdo is peanut butter. Peanut butter is known as a really healthy food. It is. It has protein, it has healthy fats. It's great to add to pretty much anything, but it's very calorie dense, meaning only 2 tablespoons is about 180 calories. That's almost 200 calories more just from one serving of peanut butter. Most people I know tend to overdo it with that one serving, and they probably do about 2.5 servings. That's almost 400 to 500 calories just based on improper portion control. Therefore, start reading your nutrition labels. Get familiar with what the proper portion sizes of the food you're already eating is. That's gonna be a deal breaker. You're gonna find that a lot of the foods you might be eating are a lot higher in calories than you'd think. Next, for fat loss, yes, you wanna be eating in a small calorie deficit, but you also need to be eating enough protein. And here is why. When you go into a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. Now, weight does not just account for body fat. Weight is water, weight is fat, weight is muscle. There are a lot of components that really go into what the scale says. Now, if you want to lose body fat, which is typically what most of my clients mean, they want to look leaner, they want to see more definition, then you need to have a high protein diet. Now, why is protein so critical for fat loss specifically? For those of you who don't know, I am a bikini physique athlete, therefore I essentially do bodybuilding competitions, and I go through cutting and building phases all the time. When we go into a cutting phase, what we really need to focus on is that high protein. The reason we need a high protein diet when we're trying to lean out specifically, fat loss and really transform our physiques is because having enough protein is going to prevent our body from breaking down the muscle that we have. When I go into my extreme cuts for a competition, having a high protein diet is going to fuel my body right so that I'm sparing the muscle that I do have and allowing me to really just drop body fat. Come in many sources. I recommend getting a wide variety of whole food based protein sources. Combination of meat sources, animal products, and plant sources of protein is going to allow your diet to be very diverse and balanced. To optimize how you absorb your protein, I recommend spreading it out throughout the day. If you have to get it all in one big bunch, that is okay once in a while, but the best way to optimize the utilization of your protein is to have a high protein meal every 2 to 3 hours. Typically, I like to have anywhere from 25 to 30 grams, but I'm roughly a small person. This recommendation will change based on how much muscle you have, your height, your weight, and what your goals are. Now, another reason protein is essential for fat loss that doesn't exactly relate to the fat loss itself is protein is very satiating, so it keeps us full longer. If you have meals that are really high in vegetables and really high in protein, you are going to be so full at the end of the meals, you won't even realize you're on a calorie deficit. Now, the reason the vegetables keep you full is because they have fiber and they're slower to digest, which is going to help you feel full fairly quickly. If you are someone who already gets full pretty quickly, I recommend starting with your protein, eating all of that, then eating your veggies, and then leaving your carb sources to the end of your meal so that we know you're hitting your protein target. When you're in a calorie deficit, hunger is inevitable. It's going to happen, but there are ways you can control it. Having as much volume as possible and adequate fiber is going to help you feel full longer, and it's going to prevent cravings, it's going to prevent snacking, and it's really not going to feel like you're restricting yourself at all. So picking foods such as lean protein sources and vegetables, which tend to be lower in calories, are going to keep you full, and you're not going to feel like you're restricting yourself. Typically, when someone comes to me and they want to lose fat, I will range anywhere from 3 to 5 days of strength training alone. If it's 3 days, I might do 3 total body days. If it's 5 days a week, then I'm going to give them body splits. So maybe an upper, lower total. Again, this will range depending on how experienced you are. With their strength training, I'm going to have them track their workouts, make sure they're progressively overloading each and every week, and keep the same program for about 4 to 6 weeks, depending on how well they can progress through this program. During the strength training sessions, I want them to focus on getting as strong as possible with high quality form. Make sure we're recruiting the correct muscles, bringing the muscles through the full range of motion, and really focus on breaking the muscles down so that we can build them back up and build some lean tissue. In addition to the strength training sessions, I'm going to schedule some cardio, anywhere from 2 to 4 days a week, depending on what they can fit in, what their body's capable of, what they've already adapted to. And typically these cardio sessions will be anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes of more of a zone 2, just kind of steady state cardio. In addition to the training that you do in the gym, you can't just train 1 hour a day, 3 times a week, and expect that to be all you need to do to lose body fat. You also need to not be sedentary. What I mean by that is sitting in front of a desk all day, not getting up, not stretching your legs, not getting enough steps in. So typically I will prescribe a step count for most of my clients. I will do a custom range depending on what they're naturally getting. So if they only get 3,000, I might give them 6,000 to do in a day. But I try to aim to get them to about 10,000 steps per day. I find this is really great for fat loss specifically. So we have them training 3 to 5 days a week in the gym for about an hour to 45 minutes. Have them training cardio 2 to 4 times per week for about 20 to 30 minutes. And then I have them hitting a 10,000 step count every day, as long as this is feasible for them. Now, the last 2 components I'm going to talk about are ones you probably aren't thinking about: sleep and stress. These impact your weight loss. In general, we want to get anywhere from 7 to 9 hours of sleep each and every night. Uninterrupted, high quality sleep where you wake up and you feel recharged. When you are sleeping, your muscles are repairing, they're rebuilding, your hormones are regulating, your stress levels are regulating. This is a time to let your body reset for the next day. I have a full video on how to get good quality sleep. I will tag that in the description below. In addition to your sleep impacting your results, your stress can impact your results. Think about it. You have a stressful day at work. What are you going to do? Some people come home and have a beer or a glass of wine. That's going to hinder fat loss. Stress can also affect your appetite in both ways. Some people are stress eaters, some people are stress non-eaters. If you're not able to hit your calorie intake each and every day, you're going to affect your metabolism, you're going to affect how you're losing fat, and it's going to impact your results in the long run. So take the time to decompress, focus on stress management, go for a walk, start journaling, meditate. Focus on doing what relaxes you and puts you in a positive mind state. Remember, this is a long journey. Think about how long it took you to get to point A to point B. Say if you gained 50 pounds, it's taken you a few years. You can't expect to lose that weight in a month, 2 months, 3 months. I'd say give yourself at least 6 months of hard work and dedication, which is why it's important to start your journey now. Since summer is literally 3 months away, I'm going to be dedicating my entire Instagram page, Strength by Sammy, to fat loss tips and tricks solely. If you're looking for fat loss recipes, other tips I didn't provide here, or more detail on how you can bring yourself closer to your physique goals, I recommend giving that page a follow and subscribe for our newsletter, which is posted in the description below. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. If you want to stay up to date on all things training, fitness, nutrition, tips, and tricks, be sure to hit that subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner. And thanks again for tuning in.